I play the hits when it comes to nights like tonight. Like they're changing up the lineup, and Klingberg's out, and you've got Connor Brown moving up, and Arvidsson's coming out, and all of that I think is reasonable, justified. They're trying to mix a couple things up. That's what happens. But this has got to be a McDavid Draisaitl special. Like I don't think it's got to be any deeper than that. Obviously, everyone's got to perform, got our depth, special teams, discipline, all those things we've talked about for 2 days. But as we get closer to showtime, it's got to be a clinic tonight.
Yeah, I was just going to say it could be Bouchard, my guy. It could be Ekholm. It could be Vander Kane. It could be Corey Perry. But it seems like if any of those guys do something, guess who's on the passing end of it or the setup end of it or the getting into the zone end of it? It's just those other two guys.
Right.
So it's like they're either directly scoring or they're creating.
Yeah, and it's rare. Like, it's rare that they won't have touch points into the game which are very valuable. And they just weren't. They weren't valuable last game as far as, what they could bring. It was probably, I don't know, if you go back and watch game 1 or 2 of the playoffs, I mean, McDavid put a clinic on near the end of game 1. So I would say that was McDavid's worst playoff game so far.
I agree.
What have they
game
played?
Game 3
19?
was for sure.
Yeah. So you're looking for a response. I've said this all along. Like, Florida's not going away. Like, they're a hell of a team. Like, this is a team, and they're going to take this as a challenge. They've played this masterfully as far as somehow they're the underdogs. They're at the start of the series. They're like, that's a great team over there. Like, it's just been praise after praise, both sides. It's not been contentious other than the last 5 to 10 minutes of the last game, but it's been that team's really good. A lot of respect. But Florida, I think, has played this to a T.
Yep.
In especially the last, we'll call it, game and a bit, for sure, where they've kind of tilted the series.
Yeah, they're very comfortable in the Stanley Cup Final, which is the greatest compliment you could ever give a hockey team.
Well, they're becoming pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, like it's 3 years in a row. That's a lot. That's a lot of sample size, man. Like 3 Cup Finals in a row. You're very, very comfortable, as you should be. And you're right. I mean, they're going to mix a couple things up today. They're going to be prepared for whatever Edmonton throws at them. But it's got to be go time for the big boys tonight. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt.
You know what the Panthers have done, Hayes? They've thrown out next year for Kraken, Montreal Canadiens, a team that didn't make the Nashville Predators. None of those coaches are allowed to say, "Nah, the guys are tired. We've been playing a lot of hockey." Because the Florida Panthers, they're never tired, man. They might stink the joint out the odd time, but it's like for those teams, a lot of hockey. These guys have been in the finals 3 years in a row. You know how much hockey that is?
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looked like in Game 3. Now, I think a part of it was the style that Florida was playing, the way that they controlled the game, the amount of penalties. There was a lot of things that made it, somewhat of an unconventional night. But it did look like Edmonton had kind of run out of gas, and it's like, okay, they're in 2 straight Cup Finals. They played a lot of hockey too, but Florida's a completely different beast. And obviously, I would expect energy not to be an issue tonight. With 2 days off and no travel, Cup Final.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you need a pep talk before the game if you're Chris Knobloch.
Do you expect a cautious game, or are we predicting kind of what Mo said, like 4-3 type of thing? Both teams can score. Both teams.
I think the latter, because I think Florida is going to play that way. I think Edmonton, okay, you can try to counter, but that's not really how they're wired either. Like if you want Bouchard to play at his best, he's gambling a bit, he's pinching, he's holding the line. There's different things that are going to happen. So I think you're going to see odd man rushes. I think you're going to see a great pace. I think all the cliches still apply. Scoring first would be big. Staying out of the box if you're Edmonton.
Scoring first. The other night when they got the second one, Florida, my daughter who's 15 years old looked at me and said, "Well, that's it. They're winning. Like it's over."
Yeah, it feels like you just got to pounce on.
You
this
give
team,
Florida a 2 Cobb, it's pretty much night. So I don't know. First period is massive for the Oilers tonight.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, Game 1 wasn't it? Edmonton. It was 3-1, and they went to an Edmonton battle back. But you can't play with that fire. I agree. I don't think you can't give either one of these teams a 2-goal lead and expect it like, you just claw it back next period type of thing. I will say, I think Edmonton needs a better second period. But you also have to have a better start. You can't be chasing the game 1-0. 70 seconds into the game?
Yeah,
that
ideally
was.
avoid that.
It's ridiculous.
Avoid, within the first 2 minutes giving up a goal, and then the buildings
Yeah.
rock in, and they start to smell blood, and everything changes from there.